Okay. I think that is insanely stupid. So what happened was I said, "Oh yeah, let's make the video for kids cuz we're just talking football here. I mean, maybe some young Cowboy fans wants to talk about the Cowboys." And I guess that's a no-no. I guess YouTube doesn't want comments if kids uh YouTube doesn't want comments if kids are going to be in the chat. Which I guess I understand, but so I didn't have a freaking chat cuz I was trying to be inclusive of the kiddos. I was trying to be an all ages type of guy and make an all ages friendly sort of deal, and it just didn't work. Yeah, I agree, Derek. It is amusing to watch me have boomer struggles. I really hate it. Like I pride myself on being up on technology and knowing how things work, but man, if I don't suck at this. Which yeah, and my webcam's not working. I don't think my microphone's working either. Obviously, I think y'all can hear me anyway. I take it, but I'm very annoyed that all of my nice technology seems like it's going to waste here, especially since you know what? Y'all don't care. Y'all don't care why my stuff's not working the way it's supposed to. So anyway, okay, thanks. Yeah. All right. Nobody cares about how stupid you are, Dave. Let's talk Cowboys. So padded practice today. There's one more here in Oxnard before they go to Denver. So like honestly, the lion's share of the work here in California, or at least in Oxnard, is done. They're only going to practice two more times at the hotel in Oxnard. They're obviously going to spend most of this week in Denver, and then they'll be in Irvine with the Chargers, and then one of these days we'll finally all get to go home. Cool. So anyway, yeah, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? Some thoughts from Saturday afternoon. I hate to be a Kool-Aid drinker at this early stage, but I just don't think I've ever been as I just don't think I've ever been as impressed or excited by a Dallas defense at this stage of training camp. It really has been something to watch. And to be fair, the Cowboys aren't trotting a whole lot out at receiver right now. Um, but man, this defensive line is impressive. Micah Parsons, I think if he was allowed to tackle people, I think he would be the runaway MVP of this training camp. It just seems like he gets into the backfield every time they let him do it. The secondary has been fantastic. Jaron Curse with a big play in the mojo moment today. He made a big play because Leighton Vander Esch and Anthony Brown both made plays on the ball. Anthony Brown, Trayvon Diggs, both having phenomenal camps. I think Jordan Lewis has been good. Again, Jaron Curse has been fantastic. Another guy, if he was allowed to do everything, he had a pick today, but like if he was allowed to tackle, we'd be raving about him. He blew up a reverse to CD Lamb 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage today. The list goes on and on. Tank Lawrence has been solid. Dorrance Armstrong has flashed. I saw somebody in the chat mentioned Sam Williams made a great play against the run today. Like most of what he's done has been as a pass rusher, but just swam right past Josh Ball today and made a great tackle of Zeke Elliott in the backfield. Just blew the play up before he really had a chance to get going. The D tackles have been active. Again, Tristan Hill, I said on Jeff's stream yesterday, I think that was yesterday, might have been a week ago. I don't know. I'm losing track of time. But Tristan Hill has been one of the surprising standouts from camp, I think. Oso Digizua and Neville Gallimore have flashed. So yeah, just at every level of the defense, there are reasons to be excited. And again, this is not the most talented Dallas offense that we've ever seen come to training camp, but whatever. All you can do is play the guys in front of you, and I think they've played very well. Logan, has the defensive performance raised my optimism for the team? I will say not really, just because I thought they'd be pretty good. I mean, they brought almost everybody back from last year's unit. Dan Quinn is still here, so I thought they would be good anyway. And the offense is still going to need to score points. So no, I don't think my opinion is super changed. I mean, I went into training camp thinking the Cowboys were a playoff team, so not really, but they're just a lot of fun to watch. Um, Congrats on the new get. Thank you. You know what? It's fun getting your flowers. It's been really cool. People continue to people on the fence line today at practice were talking to me about the new job. It's very exciting. Appreciate all of the kind words. Thank you so much. Anything on the new guy from the USFL? That would be Cavante Turpin. He's there. He does a lot of punt return work. They use him in like the jet sweep game and stuff like that. I couldn't tell you some play he's made that got me crazy excited. But he's out there. He does a lot of the special teams work. He and Jalen Tolbert. If you made me guess right now, I think Turpin or Tolbert will be your punt returner. I'm not ready to like put Turpin on the team right now, but he's certainly going to have a chance to make an impact. Scott, does the offense seem to show more motion? I'm just trying to give it to you straight, not more than what I've gotten used to seeing over the years. I mean, they do that type of stuff. CeeDee Lamb is in motion a lot. Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott both motion out and back or in and out and back. It looks pretty standard to what I've grown to expect from Kellen Moore. I'm not going to try to sell you that this is going to be some radically different offense. Let me get that fingerprint smudge off my camera. Oh yeah, that looks better. Mauricio, hey Dave, any thoughts on whether Isaac Alarcon is where he is ahead of his third season? Yeah, actually, Mike McCarthy got a question about him today. I mean, Isaac's definitely a much better player now than he was when he got here. I mean, 2 years of playing in the NFL will do that for you. And he does get a roster exemption again this year. So, like, do I think Isaac would make the 53 if he didn't have an exemption? No. Do I think he's a much better player now than he was when he got here? Of course. And he's going to get so many preseason snaps. I think the Cowboys are being very coy about it, but with only 3 preseason games and with these joint practices against Denver and LA, I bet you the frontline players are not going to get a lot of playing time in the preseason. I'll bet you that right now. But guys like Isaac are. So this is a huge opportunity for him to get game speed reps, and I bet he's going to get a lot of them. Okay. Did Jeff leave me his rental car? No, I'm Ubering and asking other writers for the kindness of their heart now. Thanks, Jeff. Although I will probably get a car when I get back from Denver because LA is just a massive city, and Ubering around LA sounds expensive, especially since they're practicing in Irvine. Is Sean McKeon solidified tight end too? Early, but I mean, I thought he had a good shot at it anyway. Again, Jake Ferguson, no knock on him, but it's very hard to learn tight end at the NFL level. Again, remember like how long it took Dalton Schultz to kind of pick things up. It took him 2 years of sort of being a contributor before he was ready. So I think there will be a learning curve, and Jake Ferguson's hurt right now. So that's precious playing time that he's not getting. So yeah, it's early, but I think Sean McKeon is definitely my favorite for tight end 2 right now. And Jeremy Sprinkle as well, although he is hurt, but he's been in the league for like 7 years, so it's a little bit different. Braden Clayberg, 5 best camps so far. Just ripping it off the dome, just right off the top. Nobody wants to hear me say this, but Anthony Brown for sure. I think he's consistently just been fantastic. And again, this isn't a murderer's row of receivers that he has to go against, but he makes plays every day. Anthony Brown, Micah Parsons, Jaron Curse, Jalen Tolbert probably. I grade on a bit of a curve, so maybe it's easier for a rookie to impress me, but I think Jalen Tolbert has been pretty rock solid. Zeke Elliott, again, maybe people don't want to hear that, but he looks good. He looks shifty. He looks like he's ready to do a bunch of stuff. So is that 5? AB, Parsons, Curse, Zeke, and Tolbert. Yeah. I could think of 5 other guys that are worth mentioning, but that's right off the top. Joint practice with the Broncos is Thursday. So they leave Oxnard on Wednesday. They'll practice Thursday, off day Friday, game Saturday. Okay. All right, yeah, let's get into this one. I think this is the predominant talking point right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, how worried should fans be about the kicker situation? I put it at a 6, and I'll tell you why. Just because it's August the 6th. Week 1 is still more than a month away. And I said this on 105.3 The Fan today too. The saving grace for the kicker position, in my opinion, is just that you don't have to come in and get the timing right and do all of this stuff to be good at kicking. Like, you're not a receiver. You don't have to learn the quarterback's timing. You don't have to learn the route tree or the scheme. You just come in. Jake McQuaid and Brian Anger have been doing this for a long time. They're going to put the kick where it needs to be. Just put it through the uprights. So, Jonathan Garibay, it has been a struggle. Liram Haralahu has been better, but maybe doesn't inspire a ton of confidence. But even still, like if this keeps up, you can sign a kicker on August 25th. You can sign a kicker on September 5th and have them ready to kick, So I'm not panicking about it just because there's so much time before the season opener. I want to see these guys kick in a game setting. They're going to get a chance to kick outdoors in Denver. They're going to get a chance to kick in a big fancy domed stadium that looks a lot like AT&T when they go to LA. So they got a lot of opportunities to right the ship. Not telling you should feel good about it, but there's just so much time before the season opener. So it's been bad, but whatever. They'll sort it out. If it doesn't get better, they'll do something. Dave, you look young and old at the same time. Thank you. I think. I'm turning 34 this year, which is weird to think about. What else we got? God, y'all ask a lot of questions, which I appreciate, but I gotta scroll back up. Okay, let's talk about TJ Vasher. TJ Vasher looks really good. He's had a fantastic camp. He really has. Obviously, he made that highlight catch that blew up all over SportsCenter. More often than not, he makes the play when they ask him to. I can't think of a terrible drop that he's had or something like that. The thing with TJ Vasher is, everybody gets enticed by the 6'6" frame and how tall he is and his ups. But if you're going to make the roster as the 5th, 6th, or maybe even 7th receiver, they got to find a way to make him useful on special teams. Can they teach him how to be a gunner? Can they teach him how to be a jammer? Can they teach him? Haven't seen him work at all as a return man, so I don't know if that's in the cards. But if you think about it, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert, eventually Michael Gallup, Noah Brown, maybe they bring in a guy, but those are the guys that you're expecting to play the majority of their snaps on offense. So unless he's so amazing that he can surpass Dennis Houston, who Dennis Houston has been the guy that runs with the ones more than anybody, unless he can really work his way into the starting lineup on a regular basis, then he's got to do something on special teams to be worth a roster spot. And that sounds hard for a guy who's 6'6", who probably weighs 175 soaking wet. So I mean, and to be fair, I could stand to lose a little bit of weight, but I probably weigh more than TJ Vasher, and he's a foot taller than me. So yeah, you got that to worry about. He's had a good camp though. He did get some run with the ones today, so maybe that's in the cards. But he either needs to be a starter or a useful special teamer. So that's what we got to figure out with him. That'll be something worth watching when the games start. Should have drafted that LSU kicker, huh, Dave? I mean, Cade York is great. Haven't been following him in Cleveland, but also I don't know, man. Fourth round feels early for a kicker to me. Like fifth, sixth, I'm on board. But like, would you rather have who'd they even draft in the fourth round this year? I already forgot. But I know he was a good player, right? Wasn't he a good player? Let's look it up. I mean, you can take this back a few years. Like, I'd rather have Jake Ferguson than Cade York. I'd rather have Jabril Cox than Cade York. Tyler Biotish. Yeah, like fourth round, you get guys that you can expect to start early in the fourth round. I'd rather have that than a kicker. But yeah, I mean the kicker situation is not great. Um no, I have not met Skip Bayless yet. But going down to Fox was a ton of fun, and maybe you'll see a little bit more of that. Who knows? Um Main difference between Fox and working for the team itself. Yeah, I mean, honestly, um, just I'm realizing now as a member of the outside media just how much easier it is when the team takes care of everything for you. Like you don't book the room, you don't book your flights, you just sort of get on the bus or the plane when they tell you to, and it's all taken care of. Whereas, as a Fox employee, you got to spend time out of your week booking flights to Denver, looking for the best deal on hotels, figuring out what to do about a rental car, which is great, and I love it because I mean you get points for everything that you book, right? Like you get frequent flyer points, you get hotel points, which is why every sports writer I've ever met, it gets to a point where you can like stay at hotels for free when you go on vacation because you have so many points. I'm not complaining, but it's definitely an adjustment as opposed to with the team. It's just all kind of handled. I miss the cafeteria. I miss the cafeteria like over in Oxnard. I'm in Ventura now. Over in Oxnard, there's a team cafeteria and a staff cafeteria. It's open for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night. And you just walk up there and get whatever you want. And the food's usually pretty damn good. So I miss that for sure. I definitely miss just being able to walk across the parking lot and eat basically whenever I want to for free. Um, William, have I seen anything from the young receivers that gives me confidence in the team not going after a veteran? Not really, and it's not a knock on those guys. I just put such a premium on NFL experience. So Michael Gallup's going to miss a little bit of time. Jalen Tolbert's had a really nice camp, but he is a rookie. So you're really talking about CD Lamb and Noah Brown being your only guys that have ever done it in a game. And what? So they open against Tampa Bay. I mean, you're going against a pretty damn good defense. Todd Bowles, I know he's not the defensive coordinator anymore, but he's going to have a very hands-on approach. He's going to be looking to make life miserable for those guys. Carlton Davis, Antoine Winfield Jr., Devin White. I mean, that defensive line is going to be a handful. Like, I put a big premium on guys that have done it, and I don't like the idea of asking a guy that's never done it to go do it against Todd Bowles and a very talented defense in week one. So we'll see. They're going to keep downplaying it, but if you made me bet today, I just think they'll find a way to get a veteran receiver in here between now and September 11th. How pumped am I for the Lord of the Rings show? I'm super pumped. I told you it's over on the table. I'm reading the Silmarillion right now. I last night was Friday. I knew I didn't have to be at camp until like 10 o'clock this morning. I didn't do anything. I stayed in bed all night and read the Silmarillion. I'm very excited. There's so much stuff in there that I forgot about, so that'll be fun. Sam or Fowler for D end? Why? ¿Por qué no la dos? ¿Por qué no? Why not both? Why? I don't have to pick one. Sam's been flashing. Sam Williams has been flashing at practice, but I think Dante Fowler has as well. That's the crazy thing. Like everybody on the D line is playing pretty well, as far as I can tell. And again, Micah Parsons is down on the line rushing just as often as anybody else. So maybe that's in name only. Like Micah Parsons looks like he's going to rush the passer a lot. Not that that should surprise anybody. Um, Hi Sod, my favorite hockey writer is you. Um, by default, but I didn't have to say that. I love you, buddy. I don't know any other hockey writers. Uh, Wait, where somebody I lost the Oh yeah, there we go. The Cowboys starting kickers in some other team's camp. Yes, Jeff, I think you might be right about that. Maybe his name's Greg Zerline. Just a thought. I don't know. Um Sam. Oh, great question from Sam. Is Josh Ball going to be the swing tackle or is Tyler Smith the swing tackle? Tyler's with Connor McGovern sliding into guard if something happens. It's a great thought. Tyler has not played a lot of tackle since we got out here. I think the Cowboys realized that they really wanted him to focus on one spot. He has primarily played guard. He's played a little tackle, but like he's primarily been a guard. Um I just don't get why they wouldn't want to go sign a veteran guy. Like you could get a guy in here for like $800,000 who has done more than the other options, and then you don't have to worry about switching two positions. Like the old idea of like, would you rather just have a good backup tackle, or if you move Tyler to left tackle and play Connor McGovern at left guard, are you getting worse at two spots to improve one? And it kind of feels like the answer is probably yes. So, again, there's a boatload of like 35-year-old offensive tackles who you could probably convince to come play a season for, I don't know, $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. So I would just do that. I don't know if they will, but I wouldn't rule it out. I think there's a long way to go. Long way to go until the regular season. I know they're not using so the Lord of the Rings show is like it's not going to be strictly based on the books, which is probably for the best because then I can't be mad about all of the decisions that they make. I was reading on the way back from camp like they told Peter Jackson they didn't want to work with him, which honestly is fine by me because the Hobbit movies sucked. And the Lord of the Rings movies were 20 years ago at this point. I'm excited for something new. Like I don't need nostalgia. Yeah, like I'm reading the book just to sort of refamiliarize myself with everything, but like I'm just going in with low expectations. As long as it's entertaining, I'll be happy. Tyler Smith, change your opinion on the pick. I think my opinion on the Tyler Smith pick has just rapidly been changing from the day he showed up at the Star. Like from the time he knocked everybody's socks off in his introductory press conference, I was like, okay, I don't know how good of a player he is, but I can tell this is a kid that's like very with it and seems to care very much about being good at his job. And so every day since then, I've been like, oh yeah, he's pretty good. And like, I'm not ready to say he's like a rookie Pro Bowler or anything. I still think you can see some growing pains, but I mean the power is undeniable. Like he opens up holes when he gets in there, particularly in the run game. Yeah, I don't know how he's going to do against Vita Vea and Akeem Hicks week 1, but I certainly think he should be the day one starter based on what we've seen so far. And yeah, I mean, like I said, I think from the day after the pick until now, every single step of the way, I've just felt better and better and better about it. Does Bobby Belt smell as bad as he looks? I love Bobby, even though he gives me very little reason to. No, he smells wonderful. Yeah, I would agree with that, Alex. I mean, yeah, there was never, and I'm not trying to pile on the guy 5 years after the fact, but like there was never a moment in Taco's rookie year where you were like, oh, okay, like maybe we're wrong about this. Like, yeah, the signs were there pretty early. I think the Tyler situation is completely different. And again, yeah, like it's not just like he dominates every time he gets in the lineup. I'm not trying to sell anybody. Like I said, he looks good. I don't know if he looks like an all pro or anything, but again, like you see the improvement, you see the flashes of why they liked him. It's way more evident than it was with Taco. I feel if I was like a 4, I feel like I liked the Tyler pick like a 3 or 4 out of 10 on draft night, and now I'm at more like a 7 or an 8. Which maybe that's too. Maybe it should be a 6 just because he hasn't actually done anything yet. But I feel good about it. And again, just like being around him as a guy, it just feels very obvious that he really cares and really wants to be good. And I mean, everybody drafted in the first round has the talent. I think if you understand that aspect of it, I think it helps you out a long way. Hmm. Bold prediction. Cowboys are going 15-2. Damn, Daryl, that is a bold prediction. I mean, even if they sweep the NFC East, even if they get 6 games out of the division, so what? So you got to find 9 more to go 15-2. Hey, that would be fun. I love covering a winner. That would be fun as hell. What about Dennis Houston? He's been good. I mean, he gets the most run with the ones, and to a man, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott. Every single one of them brings him up when they ask who has impressed. Again, kind of like TJ Vasher. I mean, he hasn't made a catch as crazy as Vasher's, but like he makes the plays that are put in front of him. I can't remember him with any type of like terrible drop or anything like that. He definitely doesn't win every battle, but like he's been solid. I think they like his versatility. Seems like he's been playing as an X more than anything else. Because CD's their slot guy more often than he's not. He's been fine. Again, like all of these young receivers have looked good or solid at least, but I'm just like, you really going into the season with a guy who's never played in the NFL as a starter? I don't believe you. I just don't. So that's where it's at. Like it's not a knock on anybody that's in camp. It's just like, how much do you really have faith in guys that have never played in the big leagues to just step up and ball from day one? Terrence Steele's struggles a warning sign or a credit to the defense? Let's just answer that cynically, Ian. Even if they're a warning sign, what are the Cowboys going to do about it? Like, we're sitting here talking about how they don't have a swing tackle. If they don't even have a right tackle, yeesh. So I mean, cynically, like, does it even matter? I guess is my point. But I will say, like, Micah Parsons is just a beast. Again, like, he was a beast last year. He looks even better this year. I'm not gonna kill Terrence Steele for having his hands full with Micah Parsons or DeMarcus Lawrence. He wasn't amazing last year, but he was solid more often than he wasn't. So I'm gonna lean toward thinking that the pass rush here is just pretty good. Again, like, I'm not trying to sell you that Terrence Steele is just this rock solid right tackle, but I think he's good enough to get the job done. I'm not like losing sleep about that. But I mean, across the board, the defensive front is giving the offensive front fits everywhere. And like if you could actually blow training camp plays dead, like if the play ended when a guy got to the quarterback, we wouldn't get to see half the stuff we've seen. Like I feel like Dak has been sacked like 20 times at this camp or something crazy like that. It just seems like they're hassling him way more often than they haven't. Troy says, who has been the second best receiver in camp? What's like, I was thinking about this today. Like, CD's been solid, CD's been good, but he has not been making the highlight plays the way that he did last year. And I wonder, like, again, like, they're installing like the purpose of training camp is not to like win, you know what I mean? Like you're installing plays, you're installing schemes, you're getting guys comfortable. So like I'd be curious to know how much Dan Quinn is focusing on double teaming CD and like trying to take him out of what the offense is trying to do. Cuz it does seem like he has shown up less this year than he did last year. But I mean, like he's been fine though. And like he dominates in the one-on-ones. So CD and Tolbert have both had solid camps, but it does seem like CD has not been a focal point of the team stuff as much as I feel like happened last year. Jonathan Ridgeway, Rodney wants to know is Ridgeway doing anything? Yeah, Ridgeway gets run with the starters. Not all the time, but he gets in there. He's a big boy. He's a beefy boy. Him and Bohanna were actually playing together at one point today, and I was like, that is a lot of meat in the middle of that line. And that's been a focal point for Mike McCarthy to get bigger, to get nastier. It's hard to evaluate a defensive tackle in practice, but he's out there. He seems fairly active. But yeah, like Ridgeway has gotten reps with the starters on numerous occasions. Have me and the Cowboys crew ever gotten toasted? And what city was it? I'm not going to incriminate anybody, but I'm from Louisiana, and journalists like to party, man. Like I have enjoyed myself in many cities across this fair country. I'll just leave it at that. um, Steele was bad last year in practice, but in the games, the county was really good. Yeah, exactly, Marcus. Like, again, is Terrence Steele about to be an all pro? I wouldn't bet on it, but I trust him to get the job done like he did last year. And they don't have, well, they have a right tackle. How good he is remains to be seen. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would feel better about this team if Lyle Collins was on it, but that's water under the bridge at this point. Although I know I'm a homer, I get it, but Lyle is currently not participating in Bengals camp last time I checked. So, all of that stuff ties in together. I get it. No, that's my thing, Logan. No, like I don't trust the pre-snap motion to translate. Tony Pollard has done everything out here. Do I trust it to happen when it matters? No. We talk so much about like the 21 personnel. Zeke was a lead blocker the other day, and I know he's done that during the season before, but like, show me. I'm not from Missouri, but show me. Show me you're going to do something fun before I believe it. That's on you. Fool me. Fool me once. That whole thing. We can't get fooled again. Uh, I like everything about that, like using Tony, using pre-snap motion more. I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm not saying they don't do it, but I'm not going to get on here and sell y'all that this year is going to be different because I don't trust them. Yes, exactly. Louisiana journalist went to LSU. Yes, I know my way around the bar scene in pretty much every town the Cowboys play in. That sounds like a humble brag, but it's just an indictment of my lifestyle. Give us your World Series matchup prediction. I just hope the Mariners make it. As long as they make the playoffs, I don't care. Just break the drought. It sucks rooting for a team that has the longest playoff drought in American sports. So just get the M's to the playoffs. I don't care what happens after that. But the Dodgers, Astros, and Yankees all seem like they're a lot better than everybody else. That's coming from a guy who hasn't paid attention to baseball since June. William says, who's the receiver that's available that you would get if it were my choice? Jeff says Odell and Will Fuller. I mean, again, I would love to have Odell. It doesn't seem like a Cowboys thing to do. Like by the time Odell is ready to play, Gallup will be ready to play. So as happy as it would make me, I just don't see that happening. I think Will Fuller's soft tissue injuries scare them. I said this somewhere else. Like I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel here. And maybe it won't work, but what do the Cowboys love to do? They love reclamation projects with guys that were highly talented but didn't pan out. So if I could give up a 5th or 6th round pick for Denzel Mims, I'd give that a try. Like again, like I don't need a number one. You have CD, you have Dalton Schultz, you'll get Gallup back at some point. You have Tolbert. I don't even need a number two. I need like a third guy. I need a third guy who's better than an undrafted rookie. So like I would try to swing that trade, or maybe when Philly cuts Jalen Rager, if they cut him, or again, like I'd give up a 6th round pick to not have to compete to sign Jalen Rager. They're going to get a bunch of comp picks this year anyway for the guys they lost. So yeah, I'd probably try to do that. Go get somebody else's failed 1st round pick and turn them into a success story here. That would be fun. Um, yeah, I mean, like if they want to sign Odell later in the year, that's a different conversation. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I I think Odell is waiting for this, like for the midpoint of the season, to see who needs him. Why sign now? Why sign now when everybody feels good about what they have in camp, and also you're not ready? Whereas if he's ready on November 15th, and the Packers feel like they're a receiver away from being the best team in the NFC, you see what I'm saying? Or, maybe somebody with the Rams gets hurt and they want to bring him back for more money. I think Odell is better served staying put until somebody desperately needs him, as opposed to just signing on with the Cowboys because why, really? Like I don't see the benefit for him. I get why the Cowboys might want to do it, but I don't see the benefit for him. So watch Odell become a Packer like Thanksgiving weekend or something stupid like that. That would be fun. Kadarius Toney is another one. Like, again, if the Giants wanted to deal him, absolutely. That sounds fun as hell. No idea. I have no idea if they, first of all, it's a division rival. Second of all, it's only his 2nd year. That seems unlikely to me. But if they're willing to do it, again, the Cowboys should be getting a few comp picks next year. Shoot, I'd probably give up a 3rd-round pick for Kadarius Toney. No, y'all can't super chat me. I'm still working on like building up my clout, so we're getting there together. Tell your friends to watch this video, and then maybe later. Okay. Hi, Cliff. Shouts out Baton Rouge, the 225. Let's go. Will I be going to Denver? Yes, I am going to Denver. I'm unfortunately I'm gonna miss the joint practice, which bums me out a little bit. But I'll be there for the game. I don't know. I saw Kavanaugh make that point, Dom. How many more days till players revolt over the kicker? I mean, I get it because Garibay has struggled. There's no way around that. He has not been good. There's no way to sugarcoat it. But again, if the Bucks were coming to town in a week, I could understand why the players would revolt. But with a month and 5 weeks until the season starts, I would just tell the players, like, worry about your own house, worry about your own thing. We're having a competition here. Hyrule has been good more than he's been bad. Like, he hasn't been perfect, but he's been fine. I would be like, we're fine over here. We're working through our stuff. Worry about your own house. But as we get closer, it becomes a more dire conversation. Again, knowing you could sign a kicker on Wednesday and have him ready to kick in the game by Sunday, it's a problem. It's not an urgent problem. Like the fire's way up in the attic and I'm down here in the kitchen. Like I got time before I need to be panicking about where that fire is. It's a good point, Alex. Yes. Zach Martin is a diplomat. He knows how to say things very diplomatically. He knows how to be boring is basically what I'm saying. So for him to say something as blunt as he did about the kickers, it's a good point. It's a good point. It's a good point. Will you be on the Fox Sports shows a decent amount, or was that a special occasion? Stay tuned. I can't give everything away. But we'll see. It was a lot of fun. Are y'all talking about Tyler Lockett? Please keep in mind, I'm up to my ears in Cowboys all the time. I don't know what's going on in most other camps. So I don't know anything about Tyler Lockett. Is he available? If he's available, I am I am curious. He's such a good player. I don't see that happening. I just looked it up on Twitter and didn't see anything specific. But yeah. Anyway, okay, yeah. Lockett is wishful thinking. Beirut. What I mean, we talked about Terrence Steele a minute ago. He's had his hands full specifically with Micah Parsons. I think that's fair to say. Um, but again, I think this is like if we're grading it out, like the offensive line has had its hands full as a unit for most of the last 2 weeks. I just think this defensive front has had a very, very nice start to camp. So no, I mean Terrence Steele hasn't been amazing. I wouldn't have him on my like 10 winners of camp list or anything like that, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not panicking about it. Who was my most surprising player of camp? Okay, well, we can't say was. We got a lot left to do. There's 2 joint practices, and they're gonna so they're practicing in pads at least 6 more times before they go back to Texas. The most surprising player of camp. It would be way too easy to say a receiver, so I'm not going to do that. Honestly, yeah, y'all will hate this. Okay, well, all right. I'll give you 2. I think Sam Williams has been better faster than I probably thought. Like I keep my expectations low for pass rushers. It's a hard job, and also the scouting report on him was maybe he would need a little more time as a run defender. He's been solid to me. He's played well. Like I said, I don't know if that means he's like a day one starter. I doubt it. Um, but he's been good and well rounded from my vantage point. So Sam Williams pretty surprising. And then I know Anthony Brown's a good player, but like I'm telling you right now, I think he's had like one of the best 2 or 3 camps, maybe the best camp. Like every day he goes out there and plays well. Um, so that's not a super sexy answer, knowing how people feel about Anthony Brown, but like I've been surprised. I would have never thought that he would be one of the best performers in camp. Let's put it that way, but I think he has. Yeah, I mean that's the age old question, Kyle. Is the offensive line bad or is the defensive line good? I have no idea, and I've had it go both ways. I've like every year you come to camp and you're like, this guy's so good, and it turns out maybe he was beating up on bad competition, or maybe this is a sign of soon things to come. I have no idea. I have no idea, but they're playing well. Um, Leighton Vander Esch was back to camp today. He missed a couple days for a personal reason. Um, I don't want to get into it, but he is back. He's back, and he played well today. He tipped the ball that led to Jaron Curse's interception. He's been solid. Um, actually, he's been pretty damn good. Honestly, see, he's active. He's gotten his hand on the ball a few times. Yeah, LVE's been good. Yeah, I mean, yes, Alex, I have paid attention to the safeties. Jaron Curse, I said earlier on the stream, if you go back and listen, I think Jaron Curse has been one of the 5 best performers at camp. He's vocal. He calls the defense. He gets guys lined up, and he also makes plays. He had a pick 6 today. He gets his hands on the football. He's good in coverage. Again, it's hard. It's hard when you're not allowed to tackle, but if you were allowed to tackle, he would have several big ones. Jaron Curse has been awesome. Donovan Wilson has been solid. I like Malik Hooker hasn't made a ton of flash plays, but I haven't seen any bad plays from him. I think sometimes it's just hard. It's hard to show up in training camp sometimes because you're thudding up. Um, again, like even when the pass rush gets home, the quarterback gets to continue the play. So like sometimes it's just hard to make those type of flash plays. So like I don't think Malik Hooker's been bad at all, but I can't say that I've seen a ton of flash plays. Oh man, we could do a whole hour on that, Aaron. I love Diggs, but given the boomer bust nature of his game, should the Cowboys be hesitant to dish out a new contract? I don't think we can answer that right now. First of all, he can't even you can't sign him to a new contract until this season is over. So we need to closely evaluate that. I mean, I think he's very, very good. I think he's an ascending player, as a lot of people like to point out. He's only been playing DB for like 4 or 5 years. He made the transition to DB when he was at Alabama. So he's got a lot of growing left to do. I think his arrow is pointed up. But let's evaluate over 17 games, because I guarantee you, I've said this a million times. Like, he's already got 14 picks. So let's say he gets 4 this year. We'll just be kind of conservative with it. We'll say he gets 4. That's 18 picks through the first 3 seasons and an all-pro nod. He's going to want a lot of money. And good for him. All players should try to get as much money as possible, but like, yeah, I'm not convinced that I would want to set the market for Trayvon Diggs right now. But fortunately, he's got 17 weeks to prove me wrong, to prove everybody wrong. So I think you just have to keep a close eye on that. I don't think it's really fair to try to answer it before he's played his 3rd season. Cole says, will Ben DiNucci play in the preseason? I haven't seen him take any reps. He's firmly the 4th guy. He's averaging like 2 snaps per practice, maybe, or at least 2 snaps per period, I should say. Like, he probably only gets 3 to 5 opportunities to run the offense per practice, because Cooper Rush and Will Grier are pretty firmly in front of him. But Dak ain't going to play a lot in the preseason. So yeah, there should be plenty of opportunity for the Nooch to play in the preseason, if I had to guess. And big picture. When it's time to pay Micah, will it be as a linebacker or a pass rusher? That's going to be fun, because it's going to be a lot like these tight end negotiations. If you remember, like, Jimmy Graham wanted to be paid as a wide receiver. Him and his agent are going to have a lot to say about that, because he's going to sit down at the negotiating table and they're going to say, like, well, you're off ball this percentage of time and you do this, that, and the other, and we really view you as more of a linebacker. And Mike is going to say, screw you. I have 35 career sacks. Pay me. So that'll be fun. If I had to guess, he's going to do everything in his power to be in the edge rusher market. But again, it's really hard to know when he's only played 1 season. It's just one of those things that, Micah can't sign a new deal until 2024. So we got some time. Yeah, everybody wants Micah to be a D end until it's contract time. You ain't wrong about that. Logan, all right, I'm gonna do a couple more and then I'm gonna get out of here. I like my intention is always to do like 30, but I enjoyed chopping it up with y'all. So here I am about to do an hour. Whatever. I'm alone in my hotel room. I have no life. I have nothing better to do. Will Grier has had a nice training camp, man. He's not afraid to sling the rock. Like, most of the best plays down the field have come from Will Grier. Like the long ball to Noah Brown today, that was Will Grier. He threw a beautiful ball down the seam to Jaquari Roberson yesterday. He's not afraid to get in there and sling it. Like, sometimes I think a lot of backup quarterbacks or 3rd string quarterbacks don't want to throw it downfield because you get picked off and then you look worse. So it just kind of, sometimes it feels like the check down Olympics when the backups are in there. But Will Grier is not afraid to let it fly, and I love that about him. I don't know if it's enough to unseat Cooper Rush. I think there's probably a certain amount of comfort with the coaching staff knowing that he was here last year and he won a game for them last year. But I think Will Grier's had a great camp. Like, just based on what I've seen through 2 weeks, like, I wouldn't want to let him go if I were the Cowboys. Not saying he's going to go on to be like a superstar, but, like, I don't know. He's got some promise and he's not afraid to let it fly. Love that. Is it possible Kelvin Joseph doesn't make the roster this year? I would say no. And I'm like, still, we're 2 weeks into camp. We don't have any clarity on what's going on with him in the league. I don't know if he's going to be suspended or whatever. But no, I mean, he was a top 50 pick a year ago. And then, I mean, the depth chart looks really solid, but like if one of your big three goes down, then it's on Nishan Wright and Kelvin Joseph. I mean, you need those two guys because after those two, you're talking about undrafted free agents. It's pretty obvious at this point that CJ Goodwin is a special teams player. Like they're going to try to avoid playing him on defense if they can. So no, I mean, Kelvin Joseph is going to make the team. I think it's just a matter of how many games he'll be available for, which we don't know the answer to right now. Our quarterbacks won't be able to do anything in the preseason with this O-line. It's going to be terrible to watch. I mean, that's every preseason I've ever watched. Like, if the starters aren't playing, preseason football is mostly unwatchable because the offensive lines aren't good enough to give the quarterbacks time. That's a tale as old as time. It is what it is. We're sickos and we're going to watch it, and there's just nothing we can do about it. Favorite video game of all time? Ocarina of Time is up there. I actually I found a playlist on Spotify of the Ocarina of Time music that is like piano. You know, it's like redone to be sort of chill. I listen to it when I go to sleep at night. It's so relaxing. Ocarina of Time is up there. Smash Brothers, obviously. And then like newer stuff. I mean, The Last of Us is one of them. Both of them, they're both great. Too many cutscenes in the sequel. Like, I'm not trying to watch a movie. I'm trying to play a video game. Like, I shouldn't have to watch a 15-minute vignette every hour to play a video game. Like, it's too much, but it still is a very, very good game. Both of them are very immersive. I spent way too much of my college career playing Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is a fantastic game. Yeah, if y'all have any recommendations for like Fallout 3, Skyrim type of stuff, holler at me. I love that type of stuff. I don't have as much time for it as I used to, but yeah. Am I excited for the new NCAA football game? Like, I'm gonna buy it, obviously. I'm a sicko, but like I have this bad feeling like it's going to suck because Madden sucks. Madden has sucked for like a decade. It's not a good game. It's not well made. I don't think EA puts a ton of effort into it because they have all the licensing, so they know nobody can compete with them. And I'm just worried NCAA is going to be more of the same. Like, again, will I buy it? Of course. And I will win 8 national titles in a row with LSU before I get bored and move to Akron and turn them into a powerhouse. Like, of course I'm going to do that, but I just have this bad feeling like it's not going to be a very good game. I did get my direct deposit sorted. Thank you. I forgot I brought that up on the last stream. Yes, I have sorted out my monetary woes. Oh, and I need to buy. I haven't bought FIFA in a couple years. I'm probably due for a FIFA purchase. Ooh, good question from Joe. How does Jalen Tolbert compare to CD in camp as a rookie? I think CD probably made more wow plays. Tolbert's been solid. I think Tolbert's, as far as I can remember, Tolbert's really only made like one wow play, and it was, he had the nice extending catch going over the middle. Not the most amazing play, but I thought it was a very nice display of like route running and hand strength in the 2-minute drill. So, the moment wasn't too big for him, etc. I thought that was a really nice play, but I think CD probably just had more like highlight reel catches as a rookie. But like I said earlier, like Jalen Tolbert, every day he just sort of consistently does what's expected of him, which not a bad place to be at all. I'm curious. I think Tolbert has a more developed route tree as a rookie than Michael Gallup did. Like Michael Gallup was just sort of go ball man when he was a rookie. They were like, Mike, run the 9 route. We'll find you. Whereas and the games haven't started. You never know how this is all going to translate to the games, but it seems like Jalen Tolbert's a little more polished than that at this point in his career. Um, I don't dislike. Yeah, I think Randall Cobb is like a decent comp for Jalen Tolbert. I just, you know, Randall Cobb was a awesome football player for a decade. I mean, if Jalen Tolbert can be what Randall Cobb was, that would be amazing, particularly as a returner, since we've been talking about the fact that they don't really have one. Hmm. Do I think this current team could beat the 49ers team we played at the end of last year? No. No. Again, it's training camp. A lot of cool stuff has happened. A lot of guys have caught my eye, but I still don't believe this team is better than the one that made the playoffs last year. I can't give them that benefit of the doubt. So no, I don't think so. Could I beat Bobby Belt in a foot race? Hell yeah, I could. I'm not the fastest guy in the world, but I have deceptive speed when I get cranked up to my full speed, which takes way too long. I could beat Bobby in a race for sure. It is. It is further. It is the draft is too far away. Which I appreciate that, Aaron. I love covering the draft. I promise you, I will do everything in my power to be around and be on a microphone for the draft cycle. But it's way too far away for me to know the answer to that right now. Hmm. Which Cowboys coach ran the best camp? I mean, I've only ever covered two. I covered Jay Jeezy for 6 years, and I've covered Mike for three, or I guess it was 7 and 3 because this is my 10th year. I don't know. I mean, it kind of no, it doesn't feel the same. I think Mike is just very mindful of the like I hate to say analytics. That's too vague, but like Mike is very mindful of just like the rhythms of training camp, like giving like I think it's genius what he's doing. Instead of just working guys for 4 days and then giving them a day off, he's doing like two practices, mock game, which is basically a walkthrough, and then two practices. He seems like he's putting a lot of effort into like keeping these guys fresh and healthy. And for the most part, I mean, James Washington is the obvious one, but like you're not seeing a crazy amount of soft tissue injuries. And also, it doesn't seem like they've had to do as many vet days because they're not asking their vets to work 3 or 4 days in a row. Everybody's getting a day to get out of pads like every 2 days. So you haven't seen Tyron Smith have to take a day off. You haven't seen Zach Martin or Leighton Vander Esch or somebody like that. Like you haven't had to see that type of stuff because it seems like Mike is doing a lot to keep them from reaching that sort of breaking point. So I don't know if it's better, but it's interesting. I just think it seems like Mike McCarthy is very mindful of how much he's asking these guys to do, and it seems like he's trying to make sure that he gets to the finish line of camp with everybody being reasonably healthy. Um, I do like the Mojo Moment concept. I mean, it's kind of goofy. The fact that they play the music and John Fossil says, "This is a ball job, like, yeah, kind of silly, but I like the idea of throwing something at the guys without a warning. Although I will say we've been doing the kickers work every Mojo Moment. So like once you've done it like 5 days in a row, I wonder if the surprise kind of wears off. Like I'm sure a lot of these guys, and plus, you can go get the practice script from the video guys or the scouts or there's a million different ways for players to find out what's on the script. So I would be interested to know like how many of them are actually surprised by the mojo moment. But yeah, it's a fun little something to get the juices flowing. It's the same thing as Garrett used to do compete period where he would have the guys come out and do a 1v1 in front of the whole team. I think it's just a way to get guys engaged and get them excited like they're kind of in a game day environment. So I like it. Um okay. You know what? We did an hour. Yeah, I did an hour after screwing up the first one. So that feels good to me. So, yeah, thanks gang. This was a lot of fun. One of these days I'll just have it down to where I don't have to fricking relearn how to do this every single time I go live. So, this was fun. I will do some more before training camp is over. Mate, shoot. I'll do one. I'll try to do one Monday after the next padded practice and or whenever the next padded practice is, whatever. But yeah, we'll do it again. This was fun. Appreciate it, y'all. See you next time.